question came in yesterday about what is a GOV, not gov or to get mixed up with the government in any way. It's actually quite the opposite. A GOV stands for gift of value. And you might hear me say this periodically when I'm talking about maybe different parts of like sales trainings or building out your funnel and when you're like trying to get new clients. I'm going to share with you briefly here how to use a GOV, when to use it, and the purpose of it, because it's critical. If you're building a business that helps transform lives, if you're building a business that is a coaching business, you're an author or speaker, a trainer, you're going to want to lead or embed these GOVs in your process. Now, to take it a step further, and I share this in one of my deeper trainings, which I'll cover a bit here, you can also use GOVs to make a sale. You can also use GOVs to get someone to buy into whatever you're offering. There is a bunch of different types of GOVs. These can be in different formats. For example, you can have a book as a GOV. You can have an ebook as a GOV. You can have a free video as a GOV. You can have an audio as a GOV. You can have an actual physical item, per se, as a GOV, right? Here's the defining thing. Number one, G, gift. It has to be something that you give away for free. Number two, it has to be of value to that person. Okay, it has to be of value to that person. So if you're just finding something or anything says, oh, here, I got this for you, it doesn't work out. It's not going to do a very good job. It's not going to hit. So when you have something of value to give to the person who needs it, that's the critical part. That's the imperative part. You have to have the person who needs the gift, who needs this item, this problem solving thing that you're going to give them. And they need to be able to consume it, and they need to be able to use it, apply it, and it changes their life. Okay. Now, this can be done in the beginning before you have a customer. This can be done in the middle and after. So I'm going to give you these three different areas you could do GOVs. In the beginning, when you're prospecting or I don't like the word prospecting because reality is you should be adding so much value. I'll come to that in a second. You should be adding so much value to the marketplace, to your audience, that they just get attracted to you. So when you're adding value, what you want to be doing is dropping these gifts, these GOVs, to your audience. And it's something that you know is going to solve their problem in exchange for helping them. Right? It's like you're going to give them something, and in exchange, they're going to receive it. This doesn't mean you charge for it. Remember, it's a gift. Okay, so you can do this periodically or right from the beginning of the relationship. Some people do this with like a landing page. So, for example, let's say plumbers have a hard time getting new clients. Okay, plumbers have a hard time getting new clients. A plumber looking for ways to get more leads and more, clogged toilets lands on your landing page as a plumber and says, hey, we have a free guide and a free step-by-step guide on how to get more clients for your plumbing business. It's a free gift. Someone enters their email, they receive the guide, and they start following the steps. See, that's a gift of value. You probably have already experienced this to some degree. Here's an example of maybe you've done this in your local grocery store. It's called sampling. So when you go to your local grocery store, has someone ever taken a toothpick or fed you a piece of cheese, or you're at the shopping mall and there's a Asian restaurant serving you a piece of chicken, right? That is a gift of value. Of course, it's to entice you to buy a plate of food or to try their newest cheese, but sampling is a gift. You didn't pay for it, and it might be valuable to you if you never tried it before and maybe you're interested. So that's a very simple way. There are deeper ways, especially if you're an author, a coach, a speaker. I've seen authors, sometimes they give 4 or 5 chapters of their book as value in the beginning before they even know each other, before they even purchase the book. They give that value. I see other things I've seen authors do is write the book with me, right? I'll answer your questions along the way and you can write the book with me, to follow me on my journey. It's another way to gift of value. Another thing for, let's say, real estate agents. Real estate agents are, when they start off, they're commission-based. They have to build their own brand. I have a friend in the industry who has an agency. I don't know if he's specifically doing it for agents anymore, but I remember when he got started with his agency, he launched specifically for real estate agents, and he created a 1-page realtor profile. And that was a big thing for a lot of real estate agents. Yes, they'll get the regular, whatever, main company profile, but it's all specific from that main company. It just replaces their image. But this was very specific. The agent had full control of this page. And what he did was he gave the page away for free. And then if they wanted to add on services like, hey, we'll bring you leads, we'll get your stuff printed, business cards, all that kind of stuff, just extra services attached to the free offer. That was a way that he did it. Now, what's really important along the process is that there are multiple gifts. Okay. Sometimes it's a one gift. If you can get one solid gift, congratulations. That's great. But sometimes it takes a few gifts. It could take 2 to 3 gifts. So you want to think about your audience, find out what their biggest challenge or pain point is along the way in their own journey, and then add these little gifts of value that helps them solve a current problem they're facing. Okay. I remember this one time. Oh shoot, I almost dropped my phone. Well, I did kind of slam my phone. So I remember this one time on the back of one of my phones. I think it's on my other phone. I would have this sticker back here. It's an NFID sticker. It was called Dot. And basically what you would do is you would tap your phone to another phone and share business cards. Okay. So their GOV was, we will set you up with a free page, okay, a profile page, a virtual business card that you can use a link to share with people. So if you were out and about and you were talking to people, you could share this link with people by sending it to them in a message or however, right? But you couldn't tap the phone yet. Here's the thing. They give you a free link. So they let you share that business card up to, I think it was 20 times a month. However, people who typically use their phones for networking all the time and meeting people, they obviously go over the 20 limit. And if you want this cool feature to tap someone else's phone, like tap, tap, you got to pay for the little sticker, the little dot sticker that goes on the back of the phone, which was, I think, $25. Pretty expensive for a little tap sticker, right? I mean, it probably cost them like 5 cents to make. But the reality is the value and the uniqueness was in the tapping, and someone would, see your business card right up on their phone. You didn't have to share a link. You didn't have to. And it just, what you were paying for was the statement. You were paying for the oh, wow, the wonder, right? The wonder of it all. And you were just amazed at that. So let me tell you, that business skyrocketed. But in the beginning, they needed that GOV. They needed they needed the business profile link and the 20 sends you could do per month. That was their GOV. So listen, you can find GOVs all in different industries. It doesn't matter the niche, okay? What's important is that you understand what your clients' needs are, what is going to wow them. It's going to give them value, okay? It's going to give them value and maybe solve a problem right in the beginning. It's like a one-off, like bam, like here you go. This is impressive. The person receiving it should be like, wow, this is nice, okay? This is helps me. Okay, then there's the middle part of the process, okay? So the middle, after the after the client has already been a customer and the lead is turned into a customer, what you want to do is wow them in the journey, okay? So let's say they already bought your thing, all right, your widget, your product or service. What you're doing in the middle is you add another gift of value. And I'll give you an example. I remember on my road to 1 million online, after I hit certain marks, maybe it was like my first $1,000 online, my first 10,000, 50, 100, 500, 1 million. Every time I would go up in these ranking levels, the company would send us a pin. First, they sent us a lanyard. Oh my gosh. By the way, first of all, hold on. Let me rewind. They sent us a bunch of things. First, they send a pin. Okay. Then after you hit, I think it was $10,000, they send you a pin and a cap. After I hit 50,000, I think they sent me a pin and a lanyard, or the lanyard came in the beginning. No. Then it was a lanyard and then something else. Then it was 100,000 was a pin. Man, I'm forgetting. It was a pin and a T-shirt. Yeah. Then I think it was 300,000. Yeah, 300,000. It was a backpack something else. Then 500,000, it was, I remember there was a flask. I remember there was a flask because I won 2 of them. So it's 500,000, flask, a cap. Then on the million, it was like a backpack, it was a really nice leather backpack, a jacket. They even gave me a jacket. I mean, a cap. You'll see in some of my previous videos, you'll see how I'm sharing these items like, oh, thank you so much, guys. It's so cool. But the point is, I was already a customer. I'm already a raving fan, but you're adding more value to the process and you're making a big thing out of it for me. And that was GOVs, gifts of value. Okay, now the final part. The final part is in a gift of value, you've already wowed the customer in the beginning. You've wowed them in the middle in the customer journey. Where do you wow them at the end? How do you wow them at the end of the process? Now, this may be if a person or a customer has already consumed your product, maybe they're done with your service. How are you going to wow them at the end? I think of realtors do this a little bit sometimes, like after you buy a house from them or, something like that. It's typically when you buy a house from them, they send like a thank you card, like a postcard. Hey, thanks so much. If you know anybody else, right? It's a very basic way, or, there's different ways you can do this. But here's what's important. When you have a customer who's like your biggest customer, maybe your most raving fan, your highest valued client who's paid you the most money, whatever it may be, you add like appreciation value to the mix. I told you about there's different GOVs you can add, but then you maybe add appreciation value or connection value to that client who's leaving. Maybe they're going as they're exiting your product or service or whatever it may be. Of course, you want them to be repeat customers. If they're repetitive customers and you want them to be repeat customers, how can you add value to the mix? Some people do this simply with like a coupon code, right? Or a voucher or whatever it may be. But the reality is you have to find something that is going to increase and add value as a gift to them for being a loyal customer, right? So think about that. This is going to apply to any different industry. You can apply this to whatever. You can apply this to sales. You can apply this to network marketing, direct marketing, authors, coaches, speakers. It doesn't really matter what you're doing as long as you're adding value. I'm thinking of something right now at this cafe where they add value. In the food industry, where on Mondays, I'm looking at the poster right here, it says Monday Madness. On Mondays, it's buy one burger, get one free. Now think about that. Buy one burger, get one free on Mondays. Well, that would get everybody to get here on Mondays and get one burger free. See, that's a gift of value because someone who wants to eat gets it, right? You get the point. So what you need to do is find in your own business, what GOVs can you line up for your customers? What GOVs can you align from the most important part, especially for getting new clients and customers, is how can you add value in the beginning? How can you add appreciation value in the middle and also add like more value on the back end? So you have like 3 different layers of adding value. And I'm telling you, if you do that, you're going to have raving fans time and time again. You don't have to worry about customers because they will even send you referrals. They will even send you referrals over and over again because they feel the value that you give to them along the journey. Okay. So that's what GOVs are. I wrote this in my GOV formula, which is actually under review. I wrote this book many years ago when I used to train thousands of salespeople. Some people were doing direct selling. Some people were selling over the phone in direct sales. But this formula, I have taught it to coaches and authors and trainers and speakers. And this concept, this is a proven formula. I wrote this book very simply many years ago. I think it was like 20 pages, but it was very simple, direct to the point. I'm working on rewriting that and revamping it. And so if you want that, I'm going to put the link in the description and you can get on the list to receive that. So when it comes out, it'll just be automatically sent to you. Or if this video has been helpful and you are thinking of different ideas and maybe you're not sure, just throw it in the comments and we'll get some brainstorming going on there. All right. See you in the next one.